Hi, this is Shannon K, and I'm hanging out with Rob at Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here, Front Row Live Entertainment. I am reunited with Shannon K, and this is the first time we actually get to do this in person.
I know.
So I'm super excited to be doing this.
Me too. Thank you for having me again.
Of course. A lot's been going on since the last time we spoke. New releases. I feel like your music has evolved. Your sound has evolved as well. So I kind of want to talk about that kind of evolution. When we spoke, it was Run that we were talking about. So going from Run to the new single today, like, how do you feel that you've progressed as a vocalist, but also like as a songwriter?
I think I've definitely sort of evolved, like you mentioned, from Run to my recent single OTT. I've kind of, been able to really understand myself as an artist and really dig deep inside of me. Personally, I did a lot of therapy sessions by myself, and I just wanted to talk about things that actually, were bothering me. Like, for example, in the Run, it was obviously based on an experience that I had, that I had felt. And so OTT was just like that. But I think the journey between Run and OTT is it's just amazing because I feel like I'm a lot more confident now, and I'm just unapologetically me, and I'm just not the shy little girl that would just say yes to everything. I am now just confident enough to say my opinion, and not be afraid of making mistakes, and most importantly not be afraid to say what I think is right.
And I do hear that when I listen to OTT. I do hear that it's a different person. You're more confident, you're empowering at the same time. How different was writing something like this? Like, I feel like that's out of your comfort zone, but what was that writing process like for you?
It really was. It was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I still wanted to try it. I wanted to really sort of, expand myself and see how far I could go, music wise, and of course lyrics, and even, vocally as well. I had a great team behind the song. The song was produced by Lugo. He's a Latin Grammy nominated producer, and I had my co-writer with me, Celeste. So we came up with this amazing track literally in a day. Nice. Which is crazy. And that's how when the song is like a banger, you just don't have to think much about it, because I think I kind of had a draft that I wanted to talk about, and it was just kind of sharpening it up and making it sound very empowering and making it sound like in your face kind of thing.
And I really did enjoy that. I love that it is in your face.
Yeah.
And it's just I had to go back, and I was like, this is Shannon.
Yeah.
This is really Shannon. Like, you've definitely evolved in the artistry process of it all. And at the same time, I feel like when you were recording the vocals, I feel like you also got to dabble in different vocal tones that you're not used to dabbling in. Do you feel that was a natural process for you in the recording booth?
Yeah, I think it just came very natural to me. When I was vibing to the song before I went inside the booth, I just kind of felt like this is what the energy needed. This is what the vocal texture needed. I wanted to come off a little cocky and sassy. So, that's what I was feeling, and that's what I gave. So yeah.
How did Lugo help you be able to do all this and be comfortable during this process?
He is such an amazing producer. He literally did not give me any directions. He was like, girl, I know you got this, so just, do you. And that's what I love, that when you give the artist the liberty to do and the freedom to do what they want to do, and, because they have a lot of things in their mind that they want to try, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and to give that space for them to explore, that's very important. So that's what Lugo did, and I absolutely loved it.
Why do you feel like now was the time to release a song like this?
Why?
Yeah, did you feel like this was your moment to kind of step out of that comfort zone that we're used to hearing, and be a different, I don't know, I feel like a different character in your music?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually wanted to release this song for a really long time, but for obviously for various reasons it just kept delaying though. And a lot of like live performances, I exclusively performed the song just to
Yeah.
kind of like get a reaction of like the audience and see how they liked it. So it was kind of like a mini test to see how the song was doing, and it did phenomenal. So I was like, okay, I was really really eager to like get this song out officially. And when it did, again, it was just amazing. Got like so much appreciation. And I was a little afraid in the beginning because this is something that I haven't tried. It's a new genre, it's a new style, it's a new me, like you said, it's a new character, which I wanted to show at the same time, but I was just a little hesitant because I've never been that way, or if I've never sort of, been approached like that. Everybody kind of sees me as a, timid girl who would probably just kind of, who doesn't really think much, or who might not have any opinions. So
Yeah.
she's going to always be on our team and stuff. But I think with OTT, I really got to sort of say something to the people and be like, hey, I've grown. In all parts, like professionally, artistically, personally as well, and I'm not taking anybody's BS anymore, and I just want to like just talk what I feel and how I feel. Like I don't want to keep any boundaries anymore. I just want to let loose.
Yeah, I love that you got to test the song live.
Yeah.
Did you change it at all after you experienced these live performances? Did you go back into the studio and change things up a bit, or is it still the same as what we listened to today?
It is still the same, though. We did think of turning this song into like a Hindi version of it, and I just don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. Like I just felt like this song itself is just perfect,
Yeah.
and I just had the confidence that even like my Indian audience or people who are not very much familiar with like the Western music would still vibe to it because of the sound and music and the way that it was sung, and that's what it did. So I was very very pleased to find that out. Sometimes like you don't need to do much to a song. Just let it be.
Yeah.
Let it marinate for a bit and then come back and take a listen, and it's just perfect.
What kind of feedback did you get from your Indian fan base that is used to listening to your previous material?
They were actually very surprised. They were like, I could not like believe that it's Shannon, just like you. They're like, are you the same person? Like, what? This song is amazing, And everybody was like, this is a club banger. This is like perfect for the summer, for the festival. That's what I wanted. Like, I think my previous songs have been very, very in depth. Very soulful, which I absolutely love, because that is a part of me, who is super sensitive and who thinks a lot of things in depth. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of show my other personality, which is like just being bubbly and fun and all over the place, messy, but in a good way, So that's what OTT was, and I was so amazed to see how people like really vibe to it, and they loved how I kind of, came through, with OTT. So yeah.
For you personally, what's it like performing this song?
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. I think like I bring a new avatar, like a new character to me. Like, you see Shannon like right before, she gets on stage, she's like super scared and shy. But as soon as she gets on stage and that song plays, she's like another whole different person. I love that. I love like the song brings so much confidence within me and makes me feel so empowered and powerful, and like sassy in a way, cocky in a way. I like to like just play around, and I love it how like I interact with the audience and they really cheer on, and I really enjoy that.
Do you feel like this song has opened a new avenue for you, like as far as like creatively goes, and do you feel like that's going to be a new chapter of what fans can expect and look forward to with Shannon?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think this was like testing waters, and it did amazing. So I think moving on from here, I am definitely gonna really explore different genres, and I have started already. I'm gonna try and lean a bit more towards like the dance, EDM,
Nice.
keeping that vulnerability and that rawness that you can hear in OTT. And yeah, and I have like some, you know, really amazing R&B songs.
Yeah.
I think like right now it's just I'm not afraid to just, you know, talk about what I feel. I think like the past songs there has been a little bit of, you know, hesitation of kind of like, and most of the times I've kind of like been inspired by other stories, and so I've kind of like put myself in their shoes. But after OTT, and you know, OTT of course, I've been able to really go back into my past and my journey and my experiences and really sort of talk it out, you know, rather than bottling up in a jar.
Yeah.
I feel like just create a song out of it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like once you step out of that like comfort zone, and I mean the world, anything is possible, right? Like you can
Right.
just try anything with it. And I love that your voice is able to do that, whether it's something soulful or something more energetic, or in the future something more electronic. Like I feel like your voice could adapt easily to it, and so can you. But like when it comes to your voice, I want to talk about that a little bit more. And you know, how have you kind of rediscovered your voice during this process? Because I feel like that's also some rediscovery that happens.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think I would kind of give, you know, a little bit of credit to just the fact that I got to really work with different producers and different sounds and everything. And of course, when I went down to India to work, it's a whole different, you know, way of working
Right.
over there. You know, like singers don't usually like write their own songs. You know, it's the songs are usually based and created through on movies and situations and things like that. So it's the singers, you know, the vocalists who have to adapt to that. And I think that was very challenging yet very fun for me to do. You know, I got to like sing so many different styles and genres, and whilst I was doing that, I was like, I can, you know, I can actually do this. Like if I were to come up with a song of my own, you know, I could definitely see myself doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bit of a learning experience for sure from India. And of course, you know, my mother and sister, they're always like, you know, there for me. They're always kind of like challenging me. So even though sometimes I don't like challenges, but they're like, you could do it, I know it, you know, like they see what I don't see, you know.
Yeah.
So they're always there. So I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm excited to hear the challenge of like creating this electronic and EDM kind of style of music with your voice.
Yeah, me too. I'm just, you know, again, exploring and everything. And I feel like I'm very nitpicky when it comes to like the kind of sound
Yeah.
and my vocal texture and everything. So I would literally be in studio. For example, like the 3 songs that I'm working on currently, I was in studio for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times for just one song, because
Yeah.
I want it to be perfect, you know. Like I know how it should sound, I know what, you know, it needs, so I want to make sure that it's just perfect, and I just hope that people will like it.
Yeah. Is this a body of work that you're working on currently? And you know, is this something that scares you to do, because now it's like a completely different sound that you're going to be giving us?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think it's just another, you know, space of competition, you know, and but I don't know, I just kind of believe in myself, and I just want to do it. I just want to explore, so I don't have any regrets in the future. I'm like, oh man, I should have tried this genre. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've always wanted to be versatile, and you know, whether it's like singing in Hindi or in different language or trying out different genres. So and dance and R&B actually were, you know, the genres that were in my bucket list for a really long time. But I think it's also about finding the right team.
Yeah.
And I finally did. So, you know, I think we're just like on the verge of creating magic.
That's awesome. How important is that team, especially the producer? You know, what is the work that you go through, or the research that you go through before you finally say like, this is the producer I want to work with?
So like, I mean, I listen to a sound that's either like, you know, blowing up, that's been, you know, on Instagram and it's trending, or on TikTok and things like that. And then obviously I have like my own playlist as well of sounds and songs that I personally like.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just like a little piece of instrument, you know, in that song, or sometimes it's just, you know, the way that the artist kind of sang, like their vocal texture. And I kind of like all brainstorm that, and then I go around and I search for like producers that are really good in that specific genre. And that's where, that's how it starts. So every member of the team is like very important, not just the artist, but like the songwriter, the producer, the listener as well. A lot of times like you need that, you need somebody to like listen to the song, because if you're the only one listening to it, it kind of gets in a loop, right? And you feel like it just sounds the same. So every member is very important, but that's how I find my producers.
That's awesome. What's next for you? What can fans look forward to? I know you've been doing a lot of shows. You've been traveling a lot lately. So, can fans look forward to many more shows coming up, maybe in the near future, maybe some LA performances? Like, what are the plans for your music?
Yes, a lot of live performances. I'm actually really enjoying myself. I was just up in Toronto, Cincinnati, and Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I got to perform. It's just really cool because, every audience in every city is different. And so it's very nerve-wracking. In the beginning, you just don't know how they'll, take you, how they'll take your music, whether they'll even like you or not. But it all goes very well, and I've been very, just been blessed of how much people really like my music and myself. And I recently performed here at Victorville for the festival, and I'm gonna be going up in Chicago as well. So if any of you guys are in Chicago, so come down there. And I have a lot more live performances planned up. I think I really want to take my song out there and really want to interact with the audience and get them to see who I really am, on a in person. So,
yeah. That's awesome. Well, I look forward to that, and I'm sure they're excited to watch these performances as well. I guess to close us off, I'm curious, during this process of creating OTT, what did you learn about yourself that you weren't really aware of, or maybe you did know about yourself but you weren't comfortable with letting that person out?
That I'm crazy. That I'm all over the place. I am dramatic. I am super sensitive, just like everybody. I think all these years I don't know, I just kind of put on a mask of being super mature and know it all when I did not. Because obviously when you're in a business like this, and when you're super young, and when you're a person of color, you're a young woman, you need to present yourself as if you know everything, so that people don't take advantage of you. And I get that, but at the same time, I think I was kind of losing my other side, my other personality, which was just to live myself and be me, and not be afraid of, saying stupid, dumb stuff, And even in during meetings and everything, back then, I used to literally have my answers down just in case they would ask that specific question. I'm like, okay, this is what I need to make sure I say it so that I come across as a very serious artist. I've always been serious, but I don't think I have to necessarily show it through my behavior, or show it through the way I dress. That's just a different thing. And so with OTT, I was really able to kind of open those doors and let myself out there and step out of my comfort zone, be vulnerable, be raw. And I think that was the key to connect with the audience. They really felt it. They felt like I could resonate with that. So I loved it.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a good learning experience at the same time. Well, I'm excited to see what's next for you. I'm excited to hear more from you. So thank you so much for reuniting with me. You guys be sure to check out Shannon K. New single OTT is out now. And thank you for watching here on Front Row Live.